Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stels. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about credit score, credit history. Why do we have credit rating here in Canada, and what is the importance? And why do people? How do you maintain your credit score here in Canada? Okay, I do work in a financial institution, and I've seen people get denied of access to credit or access to loan or mortgages because of their credit score. So it is a big deal, right? You might say, oh, it's just one of those things. It's not just one of those things. It's a very, very big deal in Canada. There are certain employment opportunities that someone might not get if they don't have a good credit score. Myself, as an example, I've worked in four organizations here in Canada, and the first three organizations did not ask me for my credit, did not ask me for permission to pull my credit. However, because I am now working in a financial institution, and they need to actually do a thorough background check on me to ensure that I am a very, very employable person and I have integrity, and I haven't like claimed bankruptcy or anything. They had to pull my credit. So you have to be you have to start building credit early, and you have to do it well. So it's not just starting early, actually doing it well. So now I would tell you that establishing a credit history is pivotal to various aspects of life, such as securing housing, like I said, employment as well, obtaining certain favorable terms on loans. If you do have a good credit score, you will definitely get a good interest rate when you're getting your mortgage, right? So what is a credit score? In Canada, credit score is a three-digit number ranging between 300 to 900. There are people whose credit score are 300 and something. I'm sure you're like, what did they do wrong? And that reflects your individual's credit worthiness. So now they want to see how worthy are you, how often do you make your payment, things like that. Now, to be determined, a credit score considers certain factors, and we are going to talk about these factors. But I want to, make it more personal so you kind of understand. When we came into Canada in February of 2023, we came in with not just myself, there are a group of people in the same that got IT at the same time. Now, we didn't come into Canada at the same time. Some of us came earlier, some of us came later. It just depended on convenience and when we actually planned, when every individual planned to come in. So when we came in, we also opened a different WhatsApp group so we can just continue, talking about our lives here in Canada. And in that group, there we had some bankers, some Nigerian bankers. When you have financial knowledge from a different country, it's very good that when you change environment, you learn rather than just cloud your thoughts with your initial knowledge of what you had in your previous country. So I like to learn actually. So someone came in and said, oh, that their credit score is over 600, over 800. And we're like, over 800. She was like, oh, yes, 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 that I think this person used to be a banker. Yes, that either he or she, I can't remember. That credit score is over 800, and she can give us tips on how she was able to build her credit score. And this person just landed Canada less than a month ago. I had my reservations, but I was like, okay, let's listen. How did you build your credit score? She was like, oh, they got financing from the bank she uses, and that with that financing, they use that credit card to buy their TV, buy their washing machine, buy all the electronics they have in the house. So they maxed up the credit card. So someone else said, oh, that she read somewhere that, credit utilization should be like 30% for you to have a good credit score. And she was like, don't listen to everything you see online, that this is the proven and tested method on how she can, or how she or he or she, I can't remember if it was a lady or a man, builds their credit. So people like, they don't believe that the person should send a screenshot of the credit score so that, so the person did. And we saw that this credit score that you're sending to us is from your bank, right? And she was like, yes, it's from her bank. So I'm like, okay. Now, do you know that do you have credits with other banks? Like, do you have any line of credit or credit card? You're like, oh, yes, 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 she does. I'm like, okay. Do you know that this credit score that you just sent to us is just based on your credit utilization, the credit card you have with this bank? It doesn't take into consideration your other banks or other line of credits you have. And this person even has OSAP loan, no? you know? So the person was like, It should still be the same thing, that she's sure that this is pulled from the credit bureau. I'm like, okay, can you visit www.borrowwell? That can you go or download the app? Is it borrowwell.c or something? I don't know. Or that, can you go to your app store and download Borrowwell? Let's see what your credit score is. So my lady went to Borrowwell, or my man. I don't know if it was a lady. I can't remember. It's been a long, it's 2 years. But this story is very, very much, in my head because I wanted to do this video. So this person went into Borrowwell and checked their credit score. It was 600 and something. I think 602 or 612 or something of that nature. So I'm saying this story to let you know that if you check your credit score with just your institution, just one institution that you have, that doesn't give you a generic, picture of what your credit score is. So there are other companies, but the company I used to do a soft pull to check my credit every single time is Borrowwell, because I try to check my credit like maybe once in 2 weeks, or because I get notifications from them. Your credit score has increased. My credit score at the moment is 784, or is it 786, which I believe is good for someone who just has been in Canada for 2 years. And one of the things that affected my credit, which I will still talk about as I'm talking about the factors that comprises a credit score and how it's calculated, I was talking about it, is about the number of inquiries that is made on your account. So I'm going to talk about that as soon as we go. So that actually did open her eye, and I hope it has opened someone's eye to watching me, that you can actually check your credit yourself without it affecting your credit score. Now, that's another thing that people thought, that, oh, if I check my credit myself, my credit score will reduce. Now, if you use applications like Borrowwell, it's just having an overview. You're not pulling your credit reports. It is just having an overview of your credits. So it's not pulling your credit report, and it's not going to affect your credit. How are credit scores calculated? Let's talk about that now. Credit scores in Canada are calculated based on certain factors, right? And they are calculated by, and they are evaluated by credit bureaus. Now, credit bureaus, we have two main credit bureaus in Canada, which is Equifax and TransUnion. So if any organization wants to do like a hard pull on your account, they visit Equifax or TransUnion. Now, how is it calculated? The first thing is your payment history. Now, if you when you have a credit card, you see that your payment is due so date. You have a payment due date on that credit card, right? So some people say that if you pay earlier, and I'm debunking the myths in this video. People say if you pay earlier than the due date, for example, if you use your credit card now and the payment is due in 14 days, if you pay today, that it will reduce your credit score because you paid earlier than the due date. No. Anytime I go to the grocery store and I buy something, or because I use my credit card for everything. If you're in Canada, please, your debit MasterCard should not even be with you when you're going out. If it's with you, just keep it on in your wallet, there's a zip that you rarely open. So just put your debit MasterCard there. Resist the urge to use your debit MasterCard, because everything should be tied to your credits. Like, everything should be tied to your credit. Your bills should be tied to your credits. If you don't, like, some people put their bills, like they give some companies void checks so that they can take their bills from their checking account or savings account. I will tell you, if you've done that, please call that company back and give them your credit card details. Let your bills be going from your credits. That shows that can give a good history that you pay your bills on time. So I'm going to read here. This is the most important factor. It assesses whether you've been making payments on time for credit accounts, loans, and bills. So the only way they can check if you're paying your bills on time is if your bills is linked to your credit card. If your bills are linked to your checking account or saving accounts, there's no way the credit bureaus can pull your checking account or saving account to see that you're paying your bills on time. So link your bills to your credit card. Tip number one. Tip number two, I was saying it before I digressed into this. Don't listen to people that say you have to pay on the due dates. Like, if I go to the grocery store and I buy something with my credit card, in the next 2 or 3 days I've paid it off. Paying it on time has no factor, as in does not affect or reduce your credit score. Credit utilization. Now, credit utilization. This also is one of the things that I was talking about in the story I mentioned earlier. The lady said that she and her husband, or the man said that him and his wife maxed out their credits by buying, using the credit card to buy TV and everything on, when they just came into Canada. So credit utilization affects your credit score. If you are using your credits, try and ensure that you're using 30% or below 30%, not above 30%. If you have 1,000 credit, if you're giving $1,000 in by your bank as credits, ensure you're not using more than $300, just to keep your credit utilization low. Now, credit history. There is a big possibility for someone who has been in Canada 5 years to have a better credit score than a new immigrant, because you have a longer credit history and you have a lot of things they can actually check, than someone who's just landing in Canada. Types of credit. So if you have a mix of credits, that also betters your chances at having a good credit score. If you have like revolving credits, line of credits, credit cards, mortgage, loans, this can actually improve your credit score. Then number of recent credit inquiries. If you have too many, I think above 5 is bad. If you have too many hard inquiries on your credit, is bad. So whenever you want to whenever you're having conversation with an organization or company and they say they're going to have to pull your credit, try and negotiate that they should do a soft check or a soft pull on your credit rather than a hard pull on your credit, because multiple hard inquiries on your credit can affect your credit score. Like the Walmart, I decided not to do the Walmart rewards card, but I don't know why I didn't communicate it with them, and they issued me the Walmart card and they did a hard pull on the credit. I never used that Walmart card, and that Walmart card has been closed. So imagine, I didn't use the card, I didn't benefit anything, I didn't get any reward for it, and it still affected my credit because it was a hard pull. So try and ensure they are doing a soft pull on your credit. And if you eventually want to, and if they say no, they have to do a hard pull, ensure that you really want to use that product from that company before they do a hard pull on your credit. Now, what is a credit report? Now we've talked about credit score. That's your number, your credit score. Now, what's the credit report? A credit report is a detailed summary of your credit history. So that your credit history shows all your credits. It gives like a detailed information of all the organizations that you have credit, lines of credit or credit cards with. It gives a detailed report, right? And it also shows the history of your credits. Now, potential creditors or lenders use credit reports to say, oh, is this person worthy of me giving credit to? If you want to get mortgage, they also pull your credit to say, oh, is this person worthy of me giving a mortgage to? What kind of rate should I give this person? Because this person has a high rate of defaulting, So if this person doesn't default, oh, and this person has a good credit score, okay, we can give the person a good or low interest rate for this loan. Now, who can see your credit? Now, credit reports can be accessed by different people. First of all, I've mentioned lenders and bank and financial institutions because they want to give you loan, right? Your landlord. You want to get a rent a house, your landlord can access your credit. You might request your credit reports. It can be part of their screening process to say, oh, is this person financially responsible to continue paying my rent? Employers as well, is this person, it depends on the organization. Like I said, I've worked in 4 places in Canada. It's only this financial institution that did a pull on my credit. Utility companies, providers like for your gas, your electricity, and all of that can do a pull on your credit as well. They can use it to determine if you're providing a security deposit or not. Then insurance companies too. Insurance companies can also pull your credits, like home insurance, auto insurance. They use it to pull your credit to also assess your risk. Then collection agencies and government agencies like the CRA can also pull your credits. So consent and credit checks. Can any random person pull your credit? Can any random organization pull your credit behind your back? No, you actually have to give consent for them to pull your credit. And in some provinces as well, you have to actually provide written consent for them to go in and pull your credit reports. Now, what is the benefit of having a good credit score? You have access to good credits. You have access to credits, like you are able to seek for loans or mortgages. It's not difficult for you. Then rental opportunities, you can be able to get the house of your dreams if you have a good credit score. Employment prospects, employers are not wary that you will steal the money if you're working in a company, that you steal their money and run. So it's very, very important you build your credit history early. And most times you need two different lines of credit for you to access mortgage in some financial institutions. So I hope I've been able to enlighten you a bit and make you realize that you don't have to max your credit card. Keep your utilization under 30%. Um, Pay your bills on time. Link your bills to your credit card so that you can actually be tracking your credit history and credit worthiness. Pay your bills on time. If you Some companies have applications that you can set auto payments. So set auto payments. Try to leave funds, when you know that, oh, have a mental calculation of how much you spent in your credit card. Having a good score is very important in Canada, and I hope I've been able to shed light and explain to you how it works. If you have questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Anywhere that is not clear, if I had rushed any points and you feel like, oh, you need some explanations about it, put it in the chat and I'll be glad and willing to help you. All right. Thank you and see you next time.